Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Period. Oh my gosh. Wow, there's so many people in here. Okay, guys. I have to grab my cue cards. Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Coach Story Sessions. My name is Jordan Chiles, AKA also known as That Girl. And I'm so excited to be here with you all. When Coach created this series, the idea was to bring together boundary-breaking individuals with different experience and different perspectives, but whose stories share something powerful in common. They've all challenged expectations through courage, authenticity, and self-expression, not only in what they do, but in how they show up every day. Today's conversation is especially meaningful as we celebrate 30 years of the WNBA. I mean, 30 years, that's crazy. And the 2026 All-Star Weekend, what a perfect setting to explore the theme of legacy. What it means to create one, what it means to redefine them, and how we all create our own. Over the past 3 decades, women's basketball has evolved into cultural force driven by generations of athletes who have pushed boundaries, broken records, defied expectations, changed perceptions, and paved the way for future stars. Today's conversation is about honoring that journey while looking ahead to what's coming next. I'm so excited. Today we have 2 very special guests. Are you guys ready to meet them? Our first guest is a true pioneer of women's basketball, an absolute legend, Hall of Famer, 4-time Olympic gold medalist, WNBA champion, 3-time WNBA MVP, broadcaster, entrepreneur, and one of the most influential figures in sports history. Her impact extends far beyond the court, helping shape what professional women's basketball looks like today. Please welcome Lisa Leslie. Yeah, you can sit wherever this is your stage. Okay, y'all. Our second guest represents the next generation of stars carrying the game forward, a national champion, the #1 overall draft pick, a player known for her poise, skill, resilience, and determination, both on and off the court. As both a champion and an advocate for excellence, she is not only inspiring young fans and athletes, she's setting the tone for the future of women's basketball. Please welcome the People's Princess, Azzi Fudd. Wow, I feel so surrounded by, honestly, legacy, no pun intended. Well, welcome. Are you guys ready to start?
Yes.
I am. I'm excited to hear this.
Woo.
It's hot up here.
We're
Y'all
in
good?
an oven right now, huh?
Okay.
It is hot.
Okay. This year marks an incredible milestone, 30 years of the WNBA. Legacy is often thought of as what we leave behind, but it's also about what we inherit, what we build upon, and how we choose to move a story forward. So, Lisa, I'm going to start with you. You've had a front row seat to literally every era of the WNBA. When you reflect on the 30 years, what makes you most proud, and what were the biggest challenges earlier on that kind of have changed now?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So excited to be here. I would say, first of all, having a seat at every era sounds crazy, but that's all good because I'm still 35. No, it's been amazing. I would just say playing basketball here in our country and really trying to win over our American fans, that was really the job for those of us that started out in the WNBA. We had played, obviously, 52 games in 1995, playing all countries in their country and going 52-0. Then we came back to Atlanta and we had to win the gold medal going 8-0. And the point was to really show that there was a gap between college basketball and professional women's basketball, and that there was another level to be had. So we were able to do that with so much pressure on us. But I think in going 60-0 and winning that first Olympic gold medal, obviously we know the history is that the WNBA was launched. But even when it was launched in those first 10 years, I would say we were never sure every year that the WNBA was going to happen. And why? Because, the money was, owners were losing money. We were trying to build this fan base, and we just felt like if you came and you watched, you fell in love with us. But if you didn't give us a chance, well, you didn't have a chance. And so over that time, I think us as players, we understood the assignment. It was to sign pictures, sign autographs, take pictures with babies, do everything we could to win over our American public. So a lot of work was put in with the intentions to see where we are today. And where we are today, I love that these players are so outstanding. They're educated, as we all have been. They are beautiful on and off the courts. We all have different stories and walks of life of how we got here, and those stories are being told more now, and I love that for the players. And I just say, lastly, the brands and the corporations that are really pouring into the W and celebrating these women. That's what we've always wanted. The goal was that we wanted for our American public to recognize that we are the best role models that your children could have, that when young girls participate in sports, they are more likely not to do drugs, more likely not to get pregnant early, they're more likely to go to college, they're more likely to be, guess what, a CEO of a company. And so when you think about all of the positive statistics surrounding girls in sports, we feel like, why not? And so I'm so proud to be alive in these moments, to see decade after decade, to be a part of this still, and to be able to see a beautiful player like Azzi, who goes out there, and every player we talked about has different challenges, right? But we talked about the #1 pick, and you go out, and her story is different, right? Not starting at first, and then having the opportunity to fight and work her butt off, and we see obviously, I always knew she's going to be a star, a big star in the WNBA, but it's beautiful to have these different stories told because we all get to this journey differently. So I'm just so happy to be a part of it.
Beautiful. I'm happy to witness it. I love the W. Speaking, Les kind of said, being the #1 pick, Azzi, your exposure to women's basketball, specifically professional women's basketball, is completely different than Leslie's experience. So what did the WNBA mean to you growing up, and which players inspired you and you loved?
Yeah, for me, watching the WNBA growing up, I think it was all about opportunity. I think just seeing the players, having something to look forward to, watching her, knowing I want that to be me. I want to be like her when I grow up, and just knowing that was real, it was possible. So I am forever grateful to you and everyone that came before me that made this possible, that laid that foundation. Like you said, you guys were doing all that hard work, doing everything you could to gain everyone's respect, to try to get people to buy in to watch. Because once you buy in, you fall in love, and you see that now. Everyone here, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for showing up today. This is an awesome crowd, by the way. But it's so special just to see the love that we get every game. And so I'm very grateful to be a part of women's basketball right now, be a woman in sport right now. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Love the love up here. Well, for the both of you, when you think about courage, what does the word mean in relation your individual journeys? So throughout your journeys, what did courage mean to you?
I love the word courage. I guess I always look at the acronym choice. And I try to use this acronym a lot because it starts with choice. C is for competent. Like, no matter what it is that you want to do, if it's not professional basketball, whatever job you're in, whatever walks of life you're in, you have to be competent about whatever it is that you want to do. And right now, we're in such an age of just information, right? We're actually overloaded with information, right? But at the same time, you can graduate from the University of YouTube and learn anything right now. And so I love the fact that being competent about whatever it is that I wanted to do on the court as well as off the court, I've tried to do that. The H is for hard work. There's no secret. AZ doesn't make it here. I don't make it to where I am. And Jordan definitely doesn't make it to where she has all of the accomplishments that she's done without hard work. That's what we have in common. And so sometimes people look at the end results and you see us up here and it's like, oh, but you don't know about the days we were crying and I was running on the track at 6 a.m, asking myself, why am I doing this? Lifting weights, meeting my coach at 5:30 a.m. 4 days a week, which meant I had to go to bed early. There's so much sacrifice that's made. And so hard work is really a part of the recipe. The O is for optimism. You got to be positive. You got to stay positive, and you got to surround yourself with positive people. We do not listen to naysayers and negative people and negative energy. That's something I know we all have in common. The I is for integrity. I think it's so important to be a woman or a man of your word, to do and say what you're going to do and be where you're supposed to be. And I've tried to be a teammate with a lot of integrity, a woman of integrity in the spaces that I've been in, and as far as business and how you treat people. That's so important. And then the C, I like to say, is for courage, because a lot of times people talk themselves out of being successful because you're like, but what if I fail? We've all failed. Like, failure is a part of it. In fact, my first failure in basketball was missing the game-winning shot in a state championship in high school. Like, I will never, ever forget that moment. But I also, after 2 weeks of being so sad, had to get back up. And, like, I had to go back to practice and working harder and making sure that the score was not that close the next 2 state championships that I won. But the idea is that it was through failure that you find success. So you got to have courage and don't be afraid to fail, because failure is a part of it too. You may fail in some things, but you got to get back up. And so we've all failed. I'm sure you've fallen more than you probably made your flips and jumps. I don't know the right words to use in gymnastics, but you're amazing, right? But it's failure. AZ, you've had injuries. Like we've fallen down. We've lost championships. We've lost things that we really wanted that were valuable to us. But through that failure, wow, look at how much we persevered. And the last word is E, and that's execution. A lot of times people have goals and they aspire to do things and they will work hard, but then you get afraid at the end, again, because failure makes you get tight. And so you don't execute your goal or your idea, and then you watch somebody else have success with the idea you had. And so don't be afraid to execute whatever it is that you go after. And so for me, choice is the word, because we all have 24 hours in a day, and we have an opportunity to make a choice in how we invest that. Last thing I'll say about it is a lot of times we invest our time on social media scrolling, watching people do what we wish we could be doing. That's where you got to put that phone down and get up and start executing your goals.
Wow. I feel inspired just sitting up here. I mean, that is very true. I have failed on the biggest stage, actually, of my life. Not just once, but twice at an Olympic Games. And I definitely can relate to that. I mean, AZ, obviously, you're in a different world. You're just in the game. And, you know, your passion and dedication is probably completely different than any one of ours. But being, you know, in this space as a young WNBA player, what does courage mean to you?
Mm-hmm. For me, I would go off your last part and just believing in myself, taking that chance. The easy thing is to give up. The easy thing is to let those voices in your head win, to not even put yourself out there. And I know I don't love stepping outside of my comfort zone all the time, so I definitely fall victim to that. But for me, it's having that core group of people around me to help push me, to help motivate me when it's hard for me to find that within myself. But just taking that risk on myself, betting on myself, and constantly believing in myself.
For the both of you.
Betting on yourself.
Yes, betting on yourself is amazing. For the both of you, obviously, in the last 3 decades, the W has changed drastically. What was it like being, you know, drafted during your time era compared to being drafted literally not that long ago for the both of you? I know it's crazy to say, like, I got 2 icons up here. But also, what were some things that, you know, remained the same within draft pick?
Well, because I was a part of the inaugural season, I was never drafted. I was assigned to Los Angeles. So most of us were placed two players at a time were placed in different cities. Teresa Weatherspoon was placed in New York. I was placed in LA. Cynthia Cooper, who should have been placed in LA, was placed in Houston because Cheryl Swoops was pregnant. And so a lot of us were placed. We didn't go through the draft. But in that, obviously, it made sense. I'm from LA. I went to USC. To be placed in LA made sense. And so that was my experience in the beginning. As we started to see drafts happen, Tina Thompson was the first player draft who also was from LA, who went to Houston. So you can tell I'm a little bitter about where my LA girls ended up, right? I would have 5 or 6 more championships if we were all put together, but we weren't. So I think the beauty of it was that we were placed where we were. We had our first draft, and I don't even know if they really had like a stage or any of that the very first year. So I think in the development, I mean, it's really a production now. I mean, to see the women, first of all, the fits that come through, there's actually a red carpet or orange carpet, which is really beautiful. I love that we have media there. It's live on television. And again, that's the inspiration. What just happened to Azzi, some other little girl, right, has the opportunity to see that. And now her desire is to be Azzi Fudd, to be a #1 draft pick, to work as hard as she can to get there. And I think that's the beauty of it, that we've grown in a way that now it's worldwide. And we are having the opportunity to make an impression on international players who want to come to the WNBA, which is full circle from when I played, because we played in the WNBA for 3 months and then we lived overseas. I lived in Italy and I lived in Russia. So to have gone overseas to make, 6 figures at that time was a huge sacrifice. And the beauty of it now, 30 years later, we have more international players in the WNBA that want to be here in our country playing than we have players going overseas. So that is a huge change. And, shout out to the new CBA, to Nneka Ogwumike, the president of WNBA. All of the things that have come about now will allow our American women to not just play basketball here in our country, but stay here and do other things and have other interests in our country. So that's, you guys will never understand how hard that is, but this is amazing that they have the opportunities that they have now.
What about you? How did it feel just being, having the opportunity just to live up to a dream of being, in that space where others, like Lisa was saying, now you have the media, now you have the fashion, now you have, all these people watching, being in that moment. As a little kid, you never understood what was actually going to happen. So living it, how did you feel?
Living it was surreal. I had goosebumps basically the whole day. My heart was beating on my chest, just being in that room or being there with all the other draftees. And then you mentioned Tina Thompson. We got a chance to hear from her, hear her talk that weekend, and she got to share her experience being the first #1 draft pick and what that was like. Like you said, there was no stage. I didn't have this big production. And so just seeing how far it's come, I think I'm going to say how grateful I am like 100 times today. But I feel like it just puts it in perspective. So getting to hear from her right before we had our draft day, it really, it is super special. Like we don't get to choose when we're born, where we're born. So to be able to be here in this day and age, to be a part of this league where it is super special. But to live out my dreams, there's nothing like it.
I wish I was there to witness it all. I was watching, I was like on my couch, like I want to be there. I want to see everybody get drafted. I wish we had drafts. As a gymnast, that'd be really cool.
But you guys, would you wear regular clothes or just tumble down the carpet?
That's a great question. I don't know. I think that would be the first fashion thing in gymnastics you would probably see.
Yeah.
I should really invest in that.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Lisa, what is something about today's generation of athletes that not only impress you, but also you feel like has been an inspiration?
Wow, I think that today's athletes navigating social media and the friggin' internet is top tier because they deal with everybody's opinion every day if they allow themselves to. And I think that's really tough. We used to deal with newspapers, and maybe you hope you got a report, on the news. And so, but in a newspaper, there are people who were like, get back in the kitchen and all those types of things. But I was never really bombarded with the opinions of every single fan about every single game. I still think I would have had some pretty good fans, but you just don't know. The fact that you get everyone's opinion about your game and what you've done, there's also betting that's connected to it. Like, the pressure is so much higher, I think, and how they're able to guard their mental health and blocking out a lot of noise, I admire, because there are some things that I've seen and read that I'm just like, I just can't even believe that these women have to experience these types of comments in 2026. So I think the way that they are protecting themselves, the way that the players really step up and use their platforms to speak volumes, like I love that, because I've always been an advocate for women, for our game, and just trying to grow it and making sure that we're getting like equality. And I just think it's at an all-time high of the division and things that are just so visceral that these women deal with, that I don't know how we would have, but I just really applaud them for the way that they protect themselves and stand together united.
Let's give a round of applause for the generation. Speaking of generations, Azzi, what is one thing from Lisa's generation that you believe athletes shouldn't take for granted?
That athletes should what?
Shouldn't take for granted.
Ooh, I mean, everything that they've done for the game. Like, we shouldn't take you for granted. We shouldn't take any of them for granted. Just, you guys sacrificed your bodies, your everything to make this possible for us now. So, again, back to the gratitude. I just think like being able to be up here with you is such an honor to me, getting to hear your story. It's so special. And the more we hear, the more we know, the more that we can be grateful, the more we can continue to grow and build and make things better. So I feel like just continuing to hear them, and yeah, praise them.
I think my number one answer to that, thank you, first of all, for just, we do appreciate being appreciated, because we did try to do as best we could. So thank you. I think the charter flights for us feels like the one thing that we used to have, like connecting flights.
Oh, wow.
We have had like back-to-back and connecting flights, and just like, you don't understand what it took to even get to the arena kind of situations, and sharing rooms. So I love the fact that they just get such a first-class treatment. And then sometimes, it's like looking at your kids and you go, you guys don't appreciate anything. But they appreciate it but it's also, you've never not had it too, you know what I mean? So that's the beauty of the different eras. But for them to be able to, for the most part, get to a game, play, and get back on a plane and get home in the same day and hopefully get a little bit more rest, like, oh my God, I love that for you guys. That's top tier.
I wish I could fly charter all the time too.
Yeah. See, it's all relative, right?
Yeah, I wish I didn't have to do connecting flights and then got to go here to just get in car. It's a lot, but it's okay. We all live.
Yeah.
I have audience. You guys are gonna get involved in this one. I need a quick show of hands. How many of you were inspired by female athletes growing up? Wow.
Oh.
Period. Would anyone like to share? And how many of you been inspired by female athletes more recently? Anybody want to share? You want a mic? Mic. Oh, there's a mic up here. Up here. To the right. Going once. Going twice. Start playing.
Hello. I'll say since I'm young, I'll count it as more recently, since I'm 19. But I'd say being inspired by female athletes is number one, has to be my mom, is growing up with her as like the number one role model. A lot of people have asked me, like they'll be like, wow, how does it feel to have like a famous mama? How does it feel? Like, one, it's like, I live with, that's my mom. So I'm like, I don't know, how's it feel when you live for your mom? I don't know. But then I sometimes forget until I go out in spaces like these and see just how many people she's influenced and how much of a big impact she's just had on women, on sports, on the world. I'm just like, wow, like I forget sometimes, like she's my mom, she's like, Tom, go clean your room. I'm like, Mom, but like I forget sometimes. I walk out, I'm like, wow, this is super cool. So I don't know, I just like to take a moment to appreciate her and just I just love to be able to be in these spaces all the time and just see the way that she's impacted so many people. So I'd say that she's also impacted me, I'd say probably the most out of anybody, because all these speeches that she comes and gives to all these people I hear every day. Whether it's like, you have a choice every day to whether it's to clean your room or to do, I'm like, okay.
That's enough.
I'd say she's my biggest role model.
I love that. Anybody else? Right here in the front.
You're so funny. My baby.
So I'm a person of the study of leaders. So I study leadership. I love leaders. I love women leaders. I'm all about coaching women leaders. I'm all about leaders. And I think that there's such an intersectionality between leadership and sports and how women show up in those spaces. And I'm always actually using a lot of references when it comes to leaders in sports with the women that I talk to every day, because I think there's so much to learn from the game and how they approach it. And I'm from Connecticut, so you all probably know what that means in terms of who my women leaders are. I have been growing up from, I'm a big lover of Stewie, obviously with the new class with Paige and Azzi. I think that they are very, integrity is a big word that comes up for me when I think about all their leadership and the through line that comes through with all of them. So I think that all these women have been very inspiring, especially women in sports and what they have to overcome to get here. So the resiliency, the empowerment, the way that they just kind of show up and not necessarily care about or not get bogged down by what people think about them, but overcome all of that to be who they are today and to continue to pour into the people that are coming after them is simply amazing. So I am inspired by all of you and just, thank you for being here.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else? We'll do this, and then we got two in the back, and then they gonna tell me it's time if we don't keep it moving. She passed you up. It's okay, she'll come back forward. I'll make sure. Yeah, she coming back.
Hi, I just wanted to say that I think seeing women who are playing basketball and then also, the camera, sorry, but also having businesses outside of the game and everything you guys are doing off the court with the brand deals and, starting your own companies. And it's just really inspiring to see the leadership and, the entrepreneurship that we're seeing and seeing women in power and women kind of at the top of their game. It's just really special, and I think it, one, inspires me as a female business owner, but also the younger generation who is seeing, like, you can be an athlete, you can be an entrepreneur, you can do all of this stuff. I just think it's really special. So great job. You guys are amazing, and we really appreciate everything that you're doing to kind of lift up women in every aspect.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
She's right here with her hand, yes, with the cute little coach bag, period.
Hi, so I play basketball and I am recruited Division I as well, and I recently tore my ACL about 6 months ago. So watching Azzi's journey and just watching videos on how she's persevered through it all has really just given me a lot of confidence. Sorry, I'm gonna cry. But just watching people like her just really impactful for me. And just going through a stage of my life where it's a really big recruiting year for me. And watching her, just her journey and how she persevered through it all, it's just been really special to me. And so I'm just so grateful that you go through things like that. And I'm just so grateful to be watching you play. So yeah.
Girl, she gonna give you a hug right now. I'm crying up here. Somebody bring me some tissues. Oh my gosh. Man. Wow. Okay. Well, with that being said, I think that's a wrap. I need some tissues. Anybody got tissues?
Right.
Wow.
No, I just want to say, though, I love that because that's the beauty of having women in sports in a way that we've been able to build this together with fans, because it really is about the impact, right? The fact that you see someone else have an injury and have so much strength and success, because it is a lot of hard work and the training to make it back, and to not just make it back, but lead all rookies in steals, block shots, three-point attempts. I got all her stats. And I really say this as a fan too, because I'm a fangirl of AZ, and I say like, being a part of the media and people were just, people have, it's always so much talk, and I know she hears that as well, and you're like, you want to come out and you want to be successful and you want to be your best, but it's the challenge, but the fact that she's been able to recover from a failure, right? You think it's a failure, you may think that your injury is a failure, it's not. It may be a setback, and I get it. The timeline may not be what you think it's supposed to be, but just keep going. Like, you'll get there. And she just keeps going. And that's the beauty of it. So the impact, sometimes our story is not just linear to this championship. It's not. It's all these moments in between that make us who we are, that build our confidence and sometimes challenges our confidence in ourselves. But it's also that opportunity to be a role model. And I think for me, that's what I've loved more than anything else. I was not really a basketball girl growing up. I started at age 12. But as a young girl, I was just like more into like fashion, and I was trying to be cute, and I didn't really want to sweat. But basketball was like, it called me, it was like my calling, but the bigger calling was my platform to be able to speak. That was really what God blessed me with, you know what I mean? And I think the platform sometimes is bigger than just us playing and putting this ball in the basket. It's the impact. Like the impact that someone had on Azzi to get here, and now the impact that she's having on you. So just know, I know there's some highs and lows in it, but stay with the journey, keep fighting, and your story is gonna be a little bit different than the next player's. And that's life, right? All of our stories are different, but you gotta keep going, keep persevering. God bless you guys. Thanks for coming out. Sorry that it's so hot in here. And the last thing I just wanna say is thank you to Coach, because you guys give it up for Coach. When you talk about brands stepping into a space and really supporting women, this is what I try to tell fans all the time. Support the brands that truly support us, that show up, that you see these players wearing. We've vetted them, we know what they stand for, and we celebrate them. So thank you to Coach for having us, these amazing clothes, bags, styles, everything.
We got one more question,
You
though.
do?
We do, but that was beautiful.
Oh, I thought we was done. Okay. My bad. Go, Jordan. What are you doing?
Yeah, that was a great ending remarks, period. I was just sitting here like, I'm just going to let her keep going. We have one last thing.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you were, talking about the way that we use our platform. I mean, obviously, I'm inspired by the W. I always try to figure out how can I help? And there's always stories, but the biggest thing is the authenticity. I mean, as being on the biggest stage of your careers, obviously mine was at the Olympics. You have draft picks, you have games, you're going against people, you have, championships.
Yeah.
What is it like to be able to be authentic to who you are, but also what do you think, how people perceive it?
I think for me, I've always just been different. I felt like I was different as a kid. I was 6 foot in the 6th grade. I wore a size 12 shoe when I was 12 years old. I'm just not fitting in, okay? So I just feel like for me, I've always been a very prayerful kid, having God first and saying, you made no mistakes with me. I know you have a plan and a purpose for me, and I'm willing to surrender to whatever that plan and purpose is. I think you have to be okay with who you are. Like, learning to love yourself is really the key to it. You only get one body. You got what you got. You got the color you got the nose, you got the ear, whatever you got, that's what you got. You got to be happy with what you have. And my mom used to always say that. Like, some people grow on the inside and some people grow on the outside, and our family's been blessed enough to do both. We're tall. You got to be happy. You got to stand tall. This is what God gave you. So I just think everybody else is taken. Be comfortable in your skin and who you are. I've always shown up as who I am. So players would talk about me. I had on lipstick. I had on eyeliner. I was getting dressed. Everybody's like, where are you going? Why are you dressed up? I don't know where I'm going. This is how I feel. I like to change from being dressed up into basketball clothes. Like, I just had to be me. And at times it wasn't all praised. And I mean, my teammates gave me a hard time all the time. And I'm like, do you, boo? I don't understand why y'all worried about me. So I think to be your authentic self is it's just the best. And I think as we get older, you know, y'all know I'm in my 50s now, I don't care. But I honestly was very unbothered as a young girl, and I didn't really realize that. So I think you gotta be comfortable with who you are, dress how you feel. If you like to dress like a tomboy, or you like to dress fancy, feminine, or if you wanna have my daughter used to come out with a tutu on. I'm like, Lauren, really? Like, are we wearing this tutu? But it's like, let her do her, you know? And I think it's important to just be yourself. Everybody else is taken. So that's what I've always been, authentically me.
I mean, self-expression is a big thing, and it wouldn't be a coach of it if we didn't talk a little about fashion. And obviously, the fashion game has vamped up really, 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 really hot in the basketball era. I mean, y'all been slaying, y'all been doing everything. What role does fashion play when it comes to game day? I'm always the type of person, you feel good, you look good, you play good, and I'm great, right? Obviously, mine's different. I'm in a Leo 24/7. But for you guys, how does fashion play a role within self-expression?
Yeah, I think fashion and self-expression go hand in hand. I think it's just a way to explore, to find what you love. That's at least what I'm doing for me. These last few years, I feel like I've really been experimenting in fashion. I wore a uniform growing up, and then I lived in basketball clothes. So getting to put Coach on, like I feel like that girl. But getting to have tunnel fits, obviously, like some people do a little more. I tend to do a little less with the tunnel fit, but when I get to come to do events like this and I get to dress up and I get to be next to you guys who are putting it on, like I love that, and I love being able to just explore and see what feels right. Like you said, like I don't know what I'm putting this on, what the vibe is, but you just get to, I don't know, you get to feel yourself.
Okay, for both of you, how would you describe your style in 3 words?
Style in 3 words?
Yeah. Your style.
Is authentic. Oh, that's 3 syllables.
Yeah.
Authentically me. Always.
Okay. What about you?
Always me.
I would say versatile.
Okay.
I would say comfy, and I would say fun.
Period. I would say I'm that girl. You said authentically me always, so I thought I could say I'm
Yeah.
that girl.
I
That's
love
3
it.
words, right?
Fuck it.
Well, well, guys, that brings us to an end of our conversation. Please join me in a huge round of applause for Lisa and Azzi.
Yeah.
Today and throughout this weekend, we celebrate 30 years of the WNBA, honoring the women who built the game, the athletes carrying it forward, and the generations still to come. We've talked about courage, authenticity, self-expression, perseverance, and the power of believing in yourself, even when the path doesn't yet exist. Those themes are also the heart of Coach. We believe in championing courageous self-expression and empowering people to embrace who they are, something we've seen reflected in both the legacy of the WNBA and the stories shared here today. If there's one thing to take away from this conversation, it's this. Legacy isn't just what you accomplish, it's what you inspire. It's about showing up as yourself, opening doors for others, and having the courage to create something bigger than yourself. The story of women's basketball is still being written. I need a round of applause for that. Still being written. And like Lisa and Azzi, each of us has the opportunity to leave our own mark in our own way and in our own style. On behalf of Coach, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. And thank you for helping shape what comes next. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed.